Hey guys, Hamsterwheel here, and today I want to talk about Vanilla WoW, the state of it right now, and the future of Vanilla WoW. You see, Classic WoW is currently in its TBC era. The current Classic servers are struggling to get by, and while Blizzard has released a survey regarding fresh Classic servers, there are no real plans yet as to if they will actually release them. Even though there is definitely a demand for those, which is evident when browsing the official Blizzard forums. So first, the product many people want isn't offered by Blizzard anymore, and the product that they used to offer is something that was definitely not perfect. Now, I think I'm not the only one in saying that Classic Vanilla WoW left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Don't get me wrong, I had plenty of good moments in Classic WoW. I had a blast leveling up my hunter in the early stages, or raiding with my friends through Molten Core and Blackwing Lair, getting my epic hunter bow and a full set at tier 1. I also had a good time leveling up my druid in the later stage of Classic WoW, trying to get ready for TBC and remaking the druid I had 16 years ago. And like my hunter, there were a lot of enjoyable moments during my druid's journey, but again, there's things that could have been done better. Before Classic WoW was set to release, there were of course a lot of discussions about how to release Classic WoW. Should it be released from patch 1.1 or just 1.12 like your average private server these days? Should it have alterations? I mean, after all, the people that played original Vanilla WoW back then have all grown up and now have jobs, families, and thus way less time to play the game. Which I always found to be a funny argument, because people who rated Nax on Blizz-like vanilla private servers found plenty of time to do so, and they were all my age. People who were teenagers when the game was originally released, and now still have enough time and commitment to raid and clear Naxxramas. But I digress. Certain things were implemented and certain things were not. For instance, an original vanilla server would have a maximum population of give or take 2,500 people. And well, on Classic it was at least 4 times more. A world that was designed to have 2,500 people in it now suddenly needed to make room for over 10,000 players, which would cause some problems, and thus Blizzard started to apply a whole bunch of band-aids on the game with sharding, layering, spell batching, and whatnot. And the spell batching definitely caused some iffy situations. I mean, I remember vividly on private servers shifting into bear form and instantly getting 10 raids from my Führer talent. Where in Classic, well, it wasn't a huge delay, but in PvP it sometimes felt like an eternity with trying to act lightning fast to what the other guy is doing. I was glad to see they dropped this going into Classic TBC, but in Classic Vanilla, oh boy, definitely not a fan. It wasn't all Blizzard's fault though. There are some things that were the players' fault too. Not each and every single one of them of course, but it was definitely more the player base than the company that released the product. I remember this one quote that said, "Given the opportunity, players will optimize the fun out of the game." And while some players get enjoyment about the very competitive nature of World of Warcraft, I think it's fair to say that the whole world buff meta did a lot of damage, so to say, to the community. Being locked in the world buff prison, where you had people who had their main character inaccessible for days on end, simply because you didn't want to lose those precious buffs, which meant that if, let's say, it was a priest, you now couldn't help your buddy heal his Solheim dungeon group. You had the entire world chat polluted with people constantly checking the timer on world buffs, level 1 characters in Orgrimmar called rent buff check, or whatever. I think it's fair to say that looking back, many people did not enjoy the world buff meta. Sure, it got you a sweet parse. Sure, it made some very fancy numbers pop up on your screen or on your damage meter. But at what cost? Cutting off your character for days and trivializing content that for the most part was already easy to begin with. So things could have maybe been done different, or dare I say the word better. And yes, now it's admittedly easier to point out what could have been done better. I mean, after all, hindsight is always 20/20. It's not just the game itself that has been struggling. I mean, many people have chosen to move over to Final Fantasy XIV, as I see more and more content creators and their followers choose that game over Classic TBC or its retail counterpart. So then, things aren't exactly looking great for Vanilla WoW as of right now, right? The remaster that was Classic WoW wasn't really what it could have been. This at the fault of Blizzard's poor decision making, their lackluster management of the game throughout its lifespan, cough cough bots, and of course partially the player base who min-maxed it up the ass. Yeah, it sounds like the future of Vanilla WoW is kind of bleak. Sure, Blizzard is looking into releasing fresh classic servers, even though again, nothing real has been announced so far. But even if they would release it, there's a lot of people that just don't want to support that company anymore. Either because of the poor management of the game, the recent controversy that Blizzard has found themselves in, or other reasons. But there is hope on the horizon. Whether you like them or not, private servers have always been an alternative to the products that Blizzard offer. And while yes, way back when private servers just started out, they were laughable knockoffs with extremely poor scripting, there's no denying that in today's world, we've come a very long way in terms of World of Warcraft emulation. I mean, after all, the private server known as Nostarius proved to us that people other than Blizzard can provide a solid World of Warcraft experience. Of course, Nostarius has been shut down for years, so going back there is not an option. But there is one upcoming private server that might be able to rekindle some of that quote-unquote real Blizz-like vanilla experience. And that project is called Darrowshire. Now let me get this straight. I'm not making this video because I'm sponsored by them or anything. What I've noticed on my channel in the comment sections and within the private server community is something very interesting. You see, in my 8 years of playing on private servers and being part of the private server community, so to say, there have been very few projects that have been this anticipated. And it just seems like this is the answer for all the people that are just dying for fresh classic vanilla servers while Blizzard remains silent. For all the people who didn't like the decisions Blizzard made during the lifespan of Classic. There's not going to be a cash shot with boosts or custom mounts. World buffs are disabled. They actually will have progressive itemization. They will have pre-nerf Alterac Valley, and instead of Honor Decay, they have the Honor Point system. It kinda sounds like the classic vanilla we should have gotten by Blizzard, and the vanilla people actually wanted. Maybe not for the Honor Point system, as I know some people just like the old school Honor Decay system, but for the rest, well, it all sounds very promising. Of course, Darrowshire isn't out yet, so we have to see if the team can actually deliver what they promise. But it's good to see that there is a project that has listened to the feedback of people and wants to do vanilla right. And well, that's it for now. Here's to hoping Darrowshire will do well, and if anyone from their team is watching this, I just want to say that I really appreciate what you guys are doing, as I see people day in day out on my channel being genuinely excited for your project, and it would be amazing if they could enjoy a great vanilla experience. And oh yeah, to answer the question whether I will play there or not, I will check it out and see how things go, but I don't have any major plans as I've done the 1x raid experience on a private server a little too often. And well, that's the end of the video. While the state of vanilla WoW right now might not be great, it's good to see that there are people out there that want to step up and at least attempt to offer us a great vanilla World of Warcraft experience. I'll leave a link to the Darrowshire project in the video description, and let's see if the project can deliver. For now though, I want to thank you for watching this video. I'm Hamsterwheel and have a good one.